Hello, everyone. It doesn't matter where you're watching from around the world. I'd like to say Happy Family Day to you because it's Family Day today here in Alberta. Today in the Quip Corner, we'll talk a bit about the history of Family Day, and then I'll fold in one quip, one of the many quips, but I'll fold in one quip that I feel ties very nicely to it, at least for this year. Who knows what we'll do for next year? Let's take it one day at a time. Remember, last week I talked about the present and enjoying the present. So see you in a bit. Welcome, or shall I say, thank you that you kept watching. So today, as I had said at the beginning of this month, today we'll be reading again from my second book, 101 Quips and Quotes that will strengthen and sweeten your marriage and family relationships. I said in my intro that today is Family Day in Alberta. And it's not just in Alberta, but it's in all other parts of the country. And I believe that there are other parts of the world that also have Family Day. But like they say, charity begins at home. So let me tell you about the history of Family Day here in Alberta. In 1990, Family Day was proclaimed as a holiday by the Lieutenant Governor Helen Hunley. In some other parts of the country, or shall I say other parts of the world, we would say lieutenants. Lieutenant, lieutenant, whichever, take your pick. But her name was Helen Hunley. She was the person who proclaimed Family Day as a holiday. And she did it on the advice of the Premier. Don Getty, the Premier at that time, had advised and said, let's proclaim a holiday so that people, or shall I say in this case specifically Albertans, could celebrate or could spend time with their families. And he added that in spending time with their families, they would understand the importance of family values. And I couldn't agree more. Family values are critical for a successful individual, knowing what those family values are and valuing those family values. So let's look at the quip I chose for today and we'll talk some more. So quip 57 goes, it's only the values you instill in your children that will live with. Let me take that again. It's only the values you instill in your children that they will live with and live by when they leave home. It's only the values that you instill in your children that they'll take with them when they're leaving your home and they'll live by when they do leave your home. One of the things that, shall I say, it's almost like a backstory, is I think back to some of the family values my mother and my father had shared with me growing up. And as some of you already know, I lost my mother while I was still a teenager. So you can imagine if she hadn't instilled some values in me at that time. There were so many values. The value of honesty, the value of recognizing my uniqueness, the value of knowing that the only person that can stop me is me, knowing that it's important to be unstoppable and just be confident and go out, reach for those goals. I remember growing up, Some of you may have had this experience as well. But I remember growing up, before I tell you about that, let me share this picture. It just reminded me of what I'm about to share with you. So this is the picture at the bottom is the picture related to today's quip. And I'm smiling because what I was just about to share with you ties in so nicely with this. And I didn't remember it at the time I chose this picture. It's interesting, interesting. So I remember when something would happen. Okay, it's easy to say something would happen. When I would do something wrong, better put, let's be honest, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable here. We're all friends here, aren't we? So I'd do something wrong and my mom would invite me for a sofa conversation. At that time, she had a sofa in their bedroom, the bedroom she and my dad shared. And I dreaded those sofa conversations. I don't know if for you, you had the privilege of being spanked by your parents. But there were times when I would prefer a spanking to a sofa conversation. But it's in those moments that my mother reminded me and instilled some family values into me. Not just when I did something wrong, but even when I did things right. She applauded me and said, keep up the good work, stay honest, remember that family matters, remember to be a generous giver of love. That was a value that I learned from watching my mother love other people. So for those who have the opportunity of having family day, my question for you is, how are you spending it? What values have you been instilling in your children? For those who don't have family day, that's not an excuse not to instill family values in your children and in the young ones around you. Because those values are like an anchor. They keep the individual grounded. I know that there were some things that I just knew that I couldn't do. One that just comes to mind is I knew that I couldn't afford to have sex before marriage. It was a value of chastity that my mother had instilled in me. And over time, I came to understand that being a virgin is a gift you give to your spouse. And it's a gift that each party, husband and wife, should give to their future spouse. They should be the only person who unwraps that gift. But I'm almost going off topic. The point here is you can't expect of someone to deliver something you haven't given them. Like they say, you can only give what you have. So speaking a moment to parents, think to the family values that your parents shared with you. There may be some that you're like, no, I don't want to carry on this value or this tradition. But what are those good ones? And how are you passing them on to your children? Another family value that comes to mind is the value of hard work. Or are you a parent who thinks that things should be easy peasy? You don't give your children the opportunity of learning from their mistakes. Every little thing you're there to catch and stop them from falling, stop them from failing. I know there were times my mother watched me fail and squirm. And it was almost like, and so what did you learn from that? Family values, like I said before, keep you grounded. The right ones, of course. The right family values keep you grounded. And one of the best family values is to value your family. Thanks again for joining me in the Quip Corner. What are your family values? Are you holding on to them? Are you passing them on to the next generation? I think about so many. I mean, I could go on and on about family values. Even things like affirming your children and saying positive and powerful words to them. It's not a prop, it is encouraging them to be confident and to face the world squarely. I look forward to hearing or reading about your family values. Drop me a line or a word of what some of your family values are. And I look forward to seeing you again in 2 days, actually, because this is a special edition because today is Family Day. Well, thanks again for joining me in the Quip Corner. Yes, I realized that I had finished and even said thank you, and then it sounded like I was starting all over again. But one of the values my mother taught me was you cannot say thank you too many times. So thanks again for joining me in the Quip Corner. And I'm hoping and praying that you have a happy family day wherever you are. But beyond that, I wish you a happy family every day of your life. See you soon. Bye now.